My first guest joining me in the studio is Mr. Sterling Scott. He is the CEO of Grow Life Incorporated. PHOT is their stock symbol. Sterling, good to see you again.
Very nice to be here with you and your viewers.
You know, it's always exciting to have a conversation with you about your industry space, because that industry space has just taken off like a rocket ship to the moon, really in the last couple of years, but more so in the last 6 or 7 months.
It has, and for someone who is as dedicated as I am to taking advantage of the potential that's there for us as a public company, you know, my brain has hurt from, in some ways, from all the change and the opportunity. You know, I'm one of those folks who doesn't want to leave a whole lot on the table, and I want to be able to do with Grow Life as many things as we can, and that number of things that we can do if we dedicate ourselves to them has grown exponentially, and it will continue to grow.
Well, of course, you know, everything really went into the stratosphere last November during the elections, when both Colorado and Washington basically legalized marijuana, not only for medical purposes like California did, but also for recreational purposes. That brought a lot of attention into your space. I've got a copy of something I want to show you here. This is a copy of the cover of Fortune magazine from a couple of weeks ago. And the lead article, the picture on the front is, you know, Marijuana Incorporated. We talked about this before. I mean, the industry space is now on the cover of probably one of the most prestigious financial magazines in the world.
I have 50 people who send me clippings from around the world on a daily basis, and it's gotten to the point that I can't keep up with them because there's so much. The cover of Fortune, Don, is, and even the elections are a reflection of the elections in November they're just a reflection of a changing attitude.
Yes.
And in part they're just giving way to the acceptance on such a broad front of legitimate medical applications for cannabis.
Well, you know, it's been estimated that the federal government spends about $20 billion a year keeping marijuana illegal. And they could probably earn $40 to $60 billion a year in licensing and tax revenues by making it legal. You know, that's a $60 to $80 billion turnaround, which is kind of something the country could use right now.
Well, you know, hopefully there are some people listening to you. And I think to a large extent they are listening. And if I had to put it in a nutshell, I would say that you know, there's a lot of indications that the federal government has already determined that they're prepared to let the experimentation that has been going on in, you know, 18 states and with another 20 states considering medical marijuana laws, or, you know, decriminalization in some form or another. It looks as though the federal government, for a lot of reasons, is letting the experimentation continue, and you know, it's a prudent decision on their part, and one that we support, and we have a lot of business opportunities as a result of it. But for us, it's not only business opportunities, but it gives us an opportunity to grow our business in ways that we care about, and it makes it hardly seem like work most of the time.
Well, you know, we were talking about magazines a moment ago, and one of the first magazines to get involved in this space many years ago was a publication called High Times. You partnered with High Times in a 420 promotion in Colorado. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, that was a major cultural event in some ways. I mean, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but with respect to the medical marijuana world, and there's another part of that world which I'll call recreational. The events in the Denver area, including some that we were fortunate enough to be able to co-sponsor, it's like a Woodstock for this generation. I mean, Woodstock, you and I grew up. I didn't get to make it to Woodstock, but It had a certain amount of chaos to it, but it was a reflection of some changes in the culture. And to some extent, they're driven by young people, but the movement overall, I don't think is driven by young people.
Right.
It's surprisingly, it's driven by a lot of the compelling stories that are that we'd like to be able to help tell a little bit better, where medical marijuana has given people their lives back. Those stories they're real and they're everywhere, and they're an opportunity to remedy a number of conditions without the toxic and addictive effects of a lot of pharmaceutical products. So it's like a genuine alternative.
Once again, the company is Grow Life Incorporated. Their stock symbol's PHOT. Sterling, every time you come in here, it's another fascinating step in this company's evolution. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Don.